everyone. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez coming to you from Washington. It's Wednesday, February 24, 2021. We have updates from our correspondents across North and Central America. Thomas Likeness in Edmonton, Alberta.
Prime Minister Trudeau and U.S. President Joe Biden did some high-level fence mending yesterday.
May Davila tells us about Panama to start testing a travel pass application that shares a traveler's COVID test result or vaccination certificate. Milo Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
A milestone in Pennsylvania's COVID-19 vaccination plan for seniors in care living facilities.
May Ann Manzano Gorzon in Sicklerville, New Jersey.
New Jersey announces $29.5 million to support college and university students amid COVID-19 pandemic.
Randy Bayuga in Pearisburg, Ohio.
Ohio town hall meetings to begin to help educate Ohioans on vaccine safety.
Jennifer Polintan in Nyack reports about New York State opening vaccination sites in Brooklyn and Queens capable of 3,000 doses per day. Angel Membrere in Sacramento tells us of new bills signed to provide additional relief funds for Californians. Elmarie Gonzalez in South Haven, Mississippi updates us on the winter weather's impact. Governor Reeves announcing 2 new groups eligible for COVID vaccine and a drastic reduction of COVID-19 cases in the state. They lift the mask mandate in March. Plus, for EBC Sports, Tenny Sumage talks about the Nets extending their winning streak to 7 and the Knicks' Julius Randle selected as an all-star reserve. Plus, if time permits, for our roundtable discussion, it's National Tortilla Chip Day. We will be sharing appetizing and crunchy ways to eat tortilla chips. Our coverage begins now. Guinea launched an Ebola vaccination campaign on Tuesday after a fresh outbreak of the deadly disease struck the country this month, with officials hoping to eradicate the virus in 6 weeks. The country reported new Ebola cases on February 13th, the first in West Africa since a 2013 to 2016 epidemic that left more than 11,300 dead in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. The latest outbreak emerged near the town of Gueki in the forested Nezerikori region in Guinea southeast and has already killed 5 people. No new cases have, however, been confirmed for a week. Ebola causes severe fever and, in the worst cases, unstoppable bleeding. It is transmitted through close contact with bodily fluids, and people who live with or care for patients are most at risk. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden's nominee for Central Intelligence Agency or CIA Director William Burns mentions his 4 key priorities if confirmed. Let's take a look.
Confirmed, 4 crucial and interrelated priorities will shape my approach to leading CIA: China, technology, people, and partnerships. As President Biden has underscored, outcompeting China will be key to our national security in the decades ahead. That will require a long-term, clear-eyed, bipartisan strategy.
Burns pledged Wednesday to keep the agency free of politics. Burns was picked by President Biden to replace retiring CIA Director Gina Haspel and to help restore an air of independence after former President Donald Trump allegedly tried to manipulate the country's spies for political reasons. Burns told the Senate Intelligence Committee that his career in the Middle East and Russia made him appreciate the value of untainted intelligence.
America's partnerships and alliances are what set our country apart from lonelier major powers like China and Russia. For CIA, intelligence partnerships are an increasingly important means of amplifying our understanding and influence. Investing in those liaison relationships has never been more important. It's a task for which my whole career has prepared me.
Burns said, "Good intelligence delivered with honesty and integrity is America's first line of defense." Burns also said China was the main challenge the country faces, echoing views stated by Biden and other top officials of his administration. In other news, the United States is seeking a return to the UN Human Rights Council 3 years after former President Donald Trump's administration withdrew.
The United States will seek election to the Human Rights Council for the 2022 to 2024 term. We humbly ask for the support of all UN member states in our bid to return to a seat in this body.
The United States announced earlier this month that it would re-engage with the 47-member council. The U.S. departure left a void that China and others have been eager to fill. While Washington has vowed to begin active participation in the council's activities immediately, it could not automatically regain the membership it walked away from 3 years ago. Elections for the next term will be held towards the end of this year. In a virtual meeting, President Joe Biden declared Canada and the United States best friends Tuesday, while Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called the friendship extraordinary. Bureau Chief Thomas Likeness with more. Thomas.
Thank you, Ace. Well, frosty relations between Canada and the United States began to thaw a bit yesterday. That's, of course, as you said, Ace, when President Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau met virtually. This is Biden's first meeting with a foreign leader since taking office. Now, you know, under Trump's administration, the president's actions were unpredictable, and one day we would be his best friends, and the next day he was making disparaging remarks about us. This has changed since the White House has a new tenant. Yesterday's 2-hour virtual meeting had a much, much warmer tone than previous dealings between Canada and the U.S. when Trump sat in the big chair in the White House. Now, right off the top, the two leaders extended the hand of friendship to each other.
The United States has no closer and no more important friend than Canada. Our nations share a close geography and history that will forever bind us together.
Canada and the United States are each other's closest allies, most important trading partners, and oldest friends.
Both leaders pledged to work together to end the global pandemic, to rebuild their economies, and fight climate changes. Not surprisingly, though, the pandemic was number one on the agenda.
For both our nations, getting COVID under control at home and around the world is an immediate priority.
Job one remains keeping people safe and ending this pandemic. This afternoon, the President and I discussed collaboration to beat COVID-19, from keeping key supplies moving and supporting science and research to joint efforts through international institutions. We're standing united in this fight.
Biden also said rebuilding the economy is important. He says the two countries are on the same page on how this should be done.
Also agreed to work in close cooperation to strengthen the supply chain security and resilience, and to ensure that Canada and the United States are driving a robust economic recovery that benefits everyone, not just those at the top.
As well, the American president criticized China for the detention of 2 Canadian businessmen. Now, they were arrested in China in retaliation for the arrest in Canada of a top Huawei executive. Biden promised to do what he can to secure their release.
Let me reiterate our support for the release of the detained in China 2 Canadians, Michael Spavor and Michael Coving. Human beings are not bartering chips. You know, we're going to work together until we get their safe return.
On climate change, Trudeau congratulated Biden for bringing the U.S. back into the Paris Accord. He says U.S. leadership has been sorely missed over the past year, a clear dig at Trump. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, Thomas. It sounds like relations between the two countries have improved, but what do you think? How long would this last?
Well, certainly things are going to go a lot easier. Now, there are going to be a number of speed bumps on the road. We've hit one of them already. That was the cancellation of the XL pipeline project by Biden. He did that on his first day on the job, and it's a severe blow to Alberta's energy industry and the Canadian economy. But, you know, there will be a honeymoon period for a while. Reality will eventually set in. You've got to realize, traditionally, Democrats have been more protectionist than Republicans, although that even changed under Trump. But for anybody to think that the American market is wide open to Canada now, think again. Biden's America First procurement policies could close the door to many Canadian vendors. You know, there was a lot of symbolism in the meeting, the verbal glad handing, the promise to free the two Michaels being held captive in China. But realistically, Biden can't do much there to get them released. He can offer moral support, but that's really it. I think perhaps the biggest change, and this is what's going to last throughout Biden's term and second term, if he did seek a second one, perhaps the biggest change is that we've got two leaders who can sit down like adults. They can disagree strongly on issues, but then they can get up, walk away from the table, accept their differences without any hard feelings and a lot of rhetoric on Twitter. And that's probably the most welcome change, is we've got some adults in the room. Ace?
That's right. Adults in the room, that's a good term, Thomas. I think everybody's hoping that a better relationship will be between Canada and the U.S. as compared to the previous administration.
Undoubtedly, there will be, Ace. We're not going to get everything we'd like. Sure, we'd like to have completely unrestricted access to the American market, but it's foolish to even think that that would come about. I mean, every country's got to protect its own population, its own citizens, and we just have to accept that. Ace?
That's true. Thank you so much, Thomas Likeness, Edmonton, Alberta.
Thank you, Ace.
For today's COVID-19 numbers, according to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University in Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, February 24, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 112,338,000. Top three on the list of countries with recorded cases: U.S. more than 28.2 million, India with more than 11 million, Brazil has more than 10.2 million. To date, more than 2,490,000 have succumbed to this virus. The U.S. leads the countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths with more than 503,000. Brazil is next with more than 248,000, and Mexico with more than 181,000. Now for COVID news, Bolivia receives 500,000 doses of the Chinese pharmaceutical company Sinopharm's COVID-19 vaccine, set for use on health workers and those at higher risk from the virus. The South American country received 20,000 doses of the Russian vaccine Sputnik V in January. Those were used for health workers treating COVID-19 patients in intensive care units. Bolivian President Luis Arce expressed frustration over the difficulty of getting vaccines, but says the country is now on its way to vaccinating its entire population. Back here in Washington, White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator Jeff Zients said Wednesday, President Joe Biden's administration is set to distribute 25 million masks starting next month. Let's take a look.
We will deliver more than 25 million masks across the country. These masks will be available at more than 1,300 community health centers and at 60,000 food pantries nationwide. Any American who needs a mask will be able to walk into these health centers or food pantries and pick up high-quality, American-made masks.
Acknowledging more than 1,000 lives lost to the pandemic in Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser proclaims Wednesday, February 24, a day of remembrance for lives lost to COVID-19. In a statement, Mayor Bowser states, "This tragic milestone is a reminder that this pandemic has forever changed families and communities. Even when the pandemic ends, For many, the pain and loss will still be there. Bowser underscored the many lives saved through the shared commitment to wearing masks and social distancing, and encouraged residents to continue to make these efforts, saying every single life saved is precious. This week, Mayor Bowser also ordered flags to half-staff in honor of the more than 500,000 Americans who lost their lives to COVID-19. When we come back, updates from Panama, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
Kumanta, sumaya tayong lahat. Saya.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas, a 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Aguila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Aguila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to explain our health outdoor attack.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
You are watching Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez in Washington. Aiming to reestablish global connectivity while managing the risk of the COVID-19 pandemic, Panama is to test the use of a Travel Pass mobile app that shows a traveler's COVID test result or vaccination certificate. In Ciudad de Panama, May Davila reports.
Beginning March, Panama, through Copa Airlines, in association with the International Air Transport Association, or IATA, could start testing the IATA Travel Pass. It is a mobile application that allows travelers to share the results of a COVID-19 test or the certificate of anti-COVID vaccines when arriving or leaving a destination. The proof of the digital passport, which will be developed with selected destinations, will be essential to re-establish global connectivity, will help authorities manage the risk of the pandemic. The confirmation to use the app as a country was confirmed this Wednesday by the Autoridad Aeronautica Civil through its social networks. The app will allow the passenger to check the travel itinerary and validate in the destination the sanitary requirements of COVID-19. Panama becomes one of the first countries to test the IATA Travel Pass application. The app aims for users to manage their flights quickly, safely, and complying with the required biosafety protocols. The passenger can use the app from their iOS or Android cell phone, fill in the data. They can, however, reserve the right to share and delete at any time, create a digital version of their part based on the ICAO Digital Travel Credential Standard, and share it with airlines, airports, and border authorities. This in turn crosses data to verify the information when necessary. For the test of the digital passport in Latin America, IATA carried out conversations with the government of Panama, being the first to accept. Negotiations with the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, and Singapore have been reported to be underway. Desde Ciudad de Panama, May Davila, Eagle News, vivimos en tiempos interesantes.
The state of Pennsylvania has reached a milestone when it comes to its administration of the COVID-19 vaccine to seniors in assisted care facilities. In Swarthmore, Bureau Chief Myla Simbulan has the story.
That's right, Ace. Here in Pennsylvania, a milestone has reached in the implementation of the state's COVID-19 vaccination plan, with the announcement that more than 600 skilled nursing facilities have received first and second doses of the vaccine. And in total, more than 315,000 doses of the vaccine administered among all long-term care facilities being vaccinated by CVS and Walgreens. Here's CVS Health District Leader Andreas Chandra to tell us more. Take a look.
Our trained and state-certified healthcare professionals, pharmacists, and pharmacy intern immunizers are proud to be among the thousands of CVS Health professionals across the country helping to vaccinate seniors against COVID-19, bringing peace of mind to patients, loved ones, and to the larger community. We have a commitment to help protect the population disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. I'm proud to say we've completed first and second doses in all of our skilled nursing facilities with more than 200,000 vaccines given. That's more than 500 completed facilities throughout the Commonwealth, whose residents and staff who chose to receive the vaccine are now able to say today that they are fully vaccinated. We're also on track to complete the second dose of vaccinations at more than 1,800 assisted living or other long-term care facilities in the Commonwealth by mid-March.
Skilled nursing, personal care, and assisted living facilities have been hit hard by the pandemic. That's why Pennsylvania's most vulnerable are among those prioritized in Phase 1A of the state's COVID-19 vaccine plan, and the state has made a commitment to ensuring its skilled nursing and other long-term care facilities receive adequate vaccine supply to protect residents and staff. The vaccination milestone is part of the Federal Pharmacy Partnership Program, in which CVS and Walgreens are Pennsylvania's partners. So what's the plan for senior living facilities here in Pennsylvania? Here's Acting Secretary of Department of Health, Allison Beam, to tell us more. Take a look.
Today, we take a moment to acknowledge the good news, the hard work of many people across the state, providing vaccinations to some of our most vulnerable residents and the staff who care for them. As Governor Wolf said, we are not finished with the long-term care vaccination mission. In fact, each facility will have at least 3 vaccination clinics, so we can ensure that as many residents and staff who want to get vaccinated have the opportunity to do so. Some facilities actually even have more than 3 clinics scheduled. This way, if someone declined the vaccine in their first or second opportunity, they'll have another chance to get the entire vaccine, both doses.
Beam also explained that this is just the first part of a long-term care vaccination mission, and going forward, the state seeks to maintain vaccination levels at all facilities by ensuring that new residents and staff can get vaccinated right away. Meanwhile, here's the latest vaccination numbers. This week, Pennsylvania has been allocated 225,890 first doses of vaccine. That is the highest single-week allotment of first doses Pennsylvania has received so far. It is an increase of more than 42,000 doses. Pennsylvania also has been allocated 180,610 second doses of vaccine, which is an increase of nearly 40,000 second doses. Right now, in Swarthmore, Ace, we have a warmer temperature. It's 48 degrees Fahrenheit or 8 degrees Celsius. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Myla Simbulan, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Enjoying the warm weather, Myla?
Oh, yes. I have to go out. Yes. You need to go out today.
I know, right? Let me ask you, much like the rest of the country, there have been issues when it comes to COVID-19 vaccine distribution. What is Pennsylvania facing right now? What are the issues Pennsylvania is facing?
You're correct, Ace. One of the, I think almost every state here in our country is shortage of second doses. And actually, because of the weather the past weeks, there was delivery delays. And although there were delays, Beam reassured Pennsylvanians that second doses will be available, and providers are also receiving daily updates on the status of all deliveries. And there's also a lot of guidance coming from the health department. Ace?
I see. Well, hopefully with the warm weather coming in, hopefully everything will be back to normal, and it will probably solve or at least help in the issues being faced by Pennsylvania and the rest of the country. Thank you so much, Myla Simbulan, Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Thanks, Ace.
And universities in New Jersey are to receive financial support to address student issues, including food insecurity across campuses. In Sicklerville, Eagle News correspondent May-Ann Manzano-Guerzon has the details. May-Ann.
Thank you, Ace. In a report released by the Office of Governor Phil Murphy, today the Governor and Secretary of Higher Education, Dr. Brian Bridges, announced that $29.5 million in federal funding will be available to New Jersey's institutions of higher education amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. This is to support the goals of the state plan for higher education through a competitive challenge grant and address student food insecurities across college campuses. Take a look.
Using just under $30 million in COVID response funds from the last tranche of federal assistance, the office is setting up 2 new grant programs to ensure the goals of our overall state plan for higher education are not undermined by the pandemic. First, Brian and Diana and team are standing up a new competitive grant program open to all institutions of higher education that receive state funding to spur the implementation of plans in key areas that impact degree completion. This program is being called the Opportunity Meets Innovation Challenge, and it will provide awards totaling $28.5 million, ranging from $500,000 to $1.5 million based on enrollment. Secondly, the office will put another $1 million toward the Hunger Free Campus Grant Program, which is focused squarely on eliminating hunger and food insecurity on our campuses. And by the way, this is an epidemic, not just in our state, but in our country. And it gets, and Brian, you know this better than anybody, it's far too often overlooked. This grant program will further build on the state law I proudly signed in 2019 to meaningfully combat the issue of food insecurity on our campuses. These grants will range from $40,000 to $100,000 per institution. And again, I'll ask Brian to dive into the details of both these innovative grant opportunities. But to the broader point, we know that the past year has placed enormous challenges both on our institutions of higher education and their students. Working collaboratively, we know that we can create new best practices and innovative solutions that will keep New Jersey's colleges and universities among the very best in the nation, if not in the world.
In implementing these strategies, institutions must focus on populations that have been historically disadvantaged, including underrepresented minorities, low-income students, and working-age adults. Many of these populations were among the hardest hit by the pandemic, which resulted in declines in enrollment, challenges to student success, and unprecedented unemployment figures. And for New Jersey's latest COVID-19 numbers, the Department of Health has reported another 2,661 new positive cases today, bringing our statewide total to 689,944. Sadly, we are also reporting 57 new confirmed deaths, pushing the total to 20,746 fatalities. And lastly, the latest total of COVID-19 vaccinations administered here in New Jersey is now 1,758,979. And for a quick weather update it's currently 8:31 in the evening here in New Jersey, and it's currently cloudy. It is 48 degrees Fahrenheit or 9 degrees Celsius. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, May and Manzano-Guerzon, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, May Ann. Under this program, May Ann, how many awards is New Jersey expecting, and any other details for institutions to apply for these grants?
Well, Ace, according to state officials, the final number of awards will be based on the quantity and quality of applications received. And through the application, institutions must document that they meet all the qualifications for the hunger-free campus designation prior to being eligible to receive the grant funds. And also for applications for both grant programs, Ace, it is already forthcoming, but no specific date was given, and will be available on the Office of the Secretary of Higher Education. Ace? Ace?
May Ann, one last question. Are there any specific areas of priority for this funding?
Well, yes, Ace, the institutions who will be selected from these grants can select from series of interventions that reflect the 5 core priority areas of the state plan. 1 is the expanding opportunities for students to gain early college exposure. 2 is improving college affordability. 3 is fostering student success. 4 is promoting safe and inclusive learning environments. And 5, cultivating research, innovation, and talent. Ace?
Thank you so much, May Ann Manzano Guerzon, Sicklerville, New Jersey. Up next, updates from Ohio, New York, and California. Eagle News in America will return shortly.
Ako din sa inyong relasyon. Naalala lang ang mga kahapon kung saan tinapon na lang ang dating pag-ibig. Kung pagbibigyan mo pa ako salamat, pero malabo na ako'y maging mapala. Ginawa ko ng lahat, hindi pa pa sapat, na ako'y walang pag-asa, di pinagtapat. Kaya ako maging.
Hello po sa inyong lahat, ako nga pala si Ford Valencia. Abangan niyo po ako sa Letters in Music bilang guest performer. Sabado po yan, Feb 27, 1 to 2 p.m. At syempre, dito lamang po yan sa Net 25. See you!
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization, startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights, sharpen your instincts for smart decision-making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation, social entrepreneurship, and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
For watching Eagle News America, I'm Ace Ramirez in Washington. In Ohio, the state's Department of Health begins virtual town halls in an effort to educate its residents of the COVID-19 vaccine efficacy. In Pearisburg, Rani Bayuga joins us this evening with the details.
Thank you, Ace. The Ohio Department of Health is promoting town hall meetings to help educate Ohioans to understand the safety of the COVID-19 vaccine. Their primary goal is to help quell some of the more interesting myths about the vaccine. Here is a video created by the Columbus, Ohio Black Physicians Network, highlighting how important it is for people of color to be vaccinated and how it has impacted their lives. Please watch this.
in the year of 2020.
When a virus, better known as COVID-19,
changed our lives and devastated our communities.
COVID-19 has impacted our jobs,
our children's ability to go to school,
our ability to socialize and gather with our loved ones,
and prevented us from worshiping in our faith institutions.
The COVID vaccine is now available and is an effective weapon to fight this virus.
Did you know that a Black scientist was crucial to the development of the vaccine?
As a matter of fact, there were several Black scientists who were on the FDA advisory committee who heavily scrutinized the vaccination before it was widely distributed.
Now, I understand that you may be hesitant to get this vaccine.
It's so important that you review credible resources when making a decision about this vaccine.
We understand the healthcare system hasn't always been kind to us.
We remember the Tuskegee experiment.
And we remember Henrietta Lacks.
We know the history of our healthcare system.
But we have made so many advances since then.
And people of color are in key decision-making roles.
As Black physicians, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams.
We went into medicine to advocate for you,
to educate,
to counsel,
to heal.
Please, follow our lead.
When you make the choice to get vaccinated, you are not only protecting yourself from a serious illness,
you are protecting your family,
your friends, your entire community.
And that's why I got vaccinated.
And that's why I got vaccinated.
And that's why I got vaccinated.
And that's why I got vaccinated. And we hope that you will too. In the year of 2020,
when
the first of the town hall meetings started last Monday, February 22nd and 23rd for African American Ohioans and Hispanic Latino Ohioans. The next one will be held in March 6th at 6:30 p.m. for Asian American and Pacific Islander Ohioans, and then March 2nd, 6:30 p.m. for rural Ohioans. For further information, please visit coronavirus.ohio.gov. Yesterday, our Governor Mike DeWine, and his wife received their second doses of their vaccine yesterday at Kettering Health Network in Greene County. He tweeted, "As we move forward, we will open up vaccinations for age 60 and above, and then 55 and above, and then 50 and above. Those 50 and above make up 96 to 98% of all COVID-19 deaths in Ohio. In addition, we are also looking at certain small groups that, because of exposure, may potentially be added to the 60 and above group." So far, there have been 1,500,364 Ohioans that have been vaccinated. And Ohio's key indicators state that positivity rate is also trending down at 8%, which was at as high as 18% during the holidays. There are now currently a grand total of 959,995 cases of COVID-19. Total deaths is now at 17,045, hospitalizations at 49,788, and ICU admissions at 7,083. In Perrysburg, Ohio, Ronnie Bayuga, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, Ronnie. How are the COVID-19 numbers in nursing homes since the vaccinations?
Well, you know, they have actually seen a significant drop. At the highs, we were above 2,800 cases, and now it's down to 343. So those numbers are actually very good, because now people can eventually start visiting their families in these nursing homes. So there are certain criteria that must be met, and one of those is that the county's positivity rate must be less than 10%, and that the nursing home is not currently investigating an outbreak, and there has been no new cases for 14 days. So it's good to have these numbers go down because a lot of the elderly are there and they are very vulnerable to this virus. Ace?
That is indeed a very significant drop. Are those numbers weekly or on a daily basis?
They are updated daily if possible. So the government is actually requiring them to update their visitation schedules, availability for every nursing home here in Ohio.
Thank you so much, Randy Bayuga, Pearisburg, Ohio.
Thank you, Ace.
The state of New York opens COVID-19 vaccination sites Wednesday in Brooklyn and Queens. These sites are reported to accommodate 3,000 doses of the vaccine per day. In Nyack, Eagle News correspondent Jennifer Polentan files this report.
Governor Andrew Cuomo is encouraging eligible New Yorkers in Brooklyn and Queens to schedule an appointment to receive the COVID-19 vaccine at 2 state FEMA community-based vaccination sites, scheduled to open on Wednesday at Medgar Evers and York colleges. The Queens and Brooklyn sites will operate between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. daily, and each site has the capacity to administer 3,000 doses per day. As part of the governor's effort to further expand access to these sites, the MTA is launching a pilot program to enhance bus service in Brooklyn and Queens to connect New Yorkers in these boroughs to the 2 vaccination sites.
This is the largest vaccination site in the state of New York. All right. This vaccination site can do 3,000 vaccines per day, 21,000 vaccines per week. So it really is extraordinary. It's a joint effort between the state and the federal government. Bob Fenton is here, who's the head lead for FEMA, and this is going to be staffed jointly by the federal government and the state government. You'll actually have federal officials here who are doing the administration of the vaccine. The National Guard, which you see here today, setting up. They're going to help administer the actual site. The site will open for operation this Wednesday. So today they're all preparing for it, and we thank them all very much for their good work.
As of 11 a.m. today, New York's healthcare distribution sites have administered 91% of first doses so far delivered. Governor Cuomo said, "We know the vaccine is the weapon that will win the war against COVID, but there are 3 obstacles to getting every New Yorker vaccinated: supply, accessibility, and hesitancy. Supply from the federal government is increasing steadily every week, but the demand still far outweighs the supply. Approximately 10 million New Yorkers are currently eligible to receive the vaccine. New York's vast distribution network and large population of eligible individuals still far exceed the supply coming from the federal government. Due to limited supply, New Yorkers are encouraged to remain patient and are advised to not show up at vaccination sites without an appointment." In Nyack, New York, Jennifer Polentan, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you.
Californians are to receive additional financial help from the state to get them through the pandemic. In Sacramento, Bureau Chief Angel Membrere reports.
Thank you. Small businesses and millions of Californians are expected to receive additional financial relief. In fact, 6 bills were recently signed by California's Governor, Gavin Newsom, through the Golden State Stimulus. Here are more details.
So I just had the pleasure of signing 6 bills to help support small businesses and also to provide direct stimulus and relief to 5.7 million households in the state of California. We call it the Golden State Stimulus. Upwards of $10 billion, $9.9 billion, part of our package of supports. This supports include grants to small businesses of $2.1 billion, $2.075 billion of $5,000 up towards a $25,000 grants to small businesses, as well as nonprofits and cultural institutions. Those direct stimulus checks to 5.7 million Californians are $600 checks. If you've received the EITC, you're on CalWORKS, SSI, SSIP, or the CAPI program.
Additional support will also be provided to colleges, food banks, and more. In addition, $2.3 billion in relief is expected later this week. Here's Governor Newsom with more details.
We're also providing additional support, $300 million for the CSU, another $300 million for the UC, our conveyor belts for talent, $100 million for financial aid, emergency grants for our community college system, and also providing supports for food banks and making sure we're supporting families with childcare as well as diapers. Many families can't afford diapers in this crisis. So wonderful to be with the legislative leaders. We start with $7.6 billion today. We have another $2.3 billion we'll get done later in the week with conformity. This may be confusing on the PPP program, but it's important, about $2.3 billion. So all told, 9.9, almost $10 billion supports. Getting it done. We're going to get these checks out into the pockets, millions and millions of small businesses and Californians in need.
Now, as vaccinations continue to roll out across California, here in Sacramento County, the Sacramento Regional Transit is offering free rides to anyone who has a COVID-19 vaccine appointment, starting March 1st. All that is needed for the free ride is to show the vaccine appointment confirmation via email, text, or vaccination card. In Sacramento, California, Angel Manberry, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Up next, EBC Sports and tonight's roundtable about National Tortilla Chip Day. Eagle News America will return shortly.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Kung ika'y magiging akin, di ka na muling luluha pa. Pangakong di ka lolokohin ng puso kong nagmamahal. Hi, ito po si City. Abangan niyo po ako ngayong linggo sa Himig ng Lahi. Alas 8 ng gabi dito lang sa Net 25. Pangakong ikaw lang ang iibigin magpakailanman.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net 25.
It's time to take one step further and face the impossible. Time to search the unknown and fight for the truth. Time to overcome boundaries and connect the world. It's time for DW News.
NBA news. Last time we reported on the Nets, they were on a 6-game win streak. That streak is now at lucky 7. Also, the league has released its selection for All-Star reserves. Julius Randle of the Knicks made the list. Penny Sumage has the report.
The Brooklyn Nets continue to roll as they won their 7th straight victory with a win against the Sacramento Kings Tuesday night at Barclays Center. James Harden had a triple-double, and Bruce Brown Jr. had a career-high performance of 29 points. Both players explain why the Nets are so hot as they continue to stay locked in.
You know, each guy's been locked in. We've had so many, well, a few, guys in and out lineups or whatnot, but the next man up and the next man ready to go. Obviously Jeff TLC was out tonight, but, just guys came in and was prepared and played big minutes, and, they stepped up.
I think we knew we were going to be good. It just took a matter of time, some chemistry. But I mean, yeah, it feels good. It gives us some more confidence than we already had. So we're just going to keep pushing and try to get more wins.
Knicks forward Julius Randle will make his first All-Star appearance in Atlanta after the reserves were announced on Tuesday. The Knicks forward is looking forward to make his appearance. Plus, we'll hear more from Derrick Rose, a former All-Star, and head coach Tom Thibodeau.
Really special. It was surreal in a sense. I mean, everything you can dream of, and it just seemed like it all came to fruition. It was amazing, honestly. And everything that I signed up for and goals that I wrote down when I decided, I wanted to come here and play for the Knicks. It's all happening. So it was definitely an amazing moment. A lot of emotion for me and for my family, and it was definitely special for sure.
Man, he's playing with tremendous confidence. Like his confidence is very high. Great leader for the team. Me just watching everything up close. He added the tray ball to his game, so he's even more effective. And he's just balling right now, man. And with the first group, and whenever he's in with the second group, we're trying to play through him and find him because he's demanding a double team, and that's what we need from him.
I think the fact that he's helped the team win helped him to get recognized. So I think his teammates, I know, are very happy, and they share in that success with him. In all the things that he's done for the team, being unselfish, being a great worker, the way he practices, I think is important for our team, and just the way he brings it, every night. So I think it's important for him, important for the organization, but we can't lose sight of what the most important thing is, and that's the team winning.
We'll have more stories and highlights on the Nets and the Knicks throughout the NBA season. In New York, Tenny Samagi, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
February 24 is National Tortilla Chip Day. According to nationaldaycalendar.com, Rebecca Webb Carranza, who operated a deli and tortilla factory in Los Angeles with her husband, tried cutting discarded misshapen tortillas into triangles and frying them. Carranza sold them for a dime a bag at the El Zarape Tortilla Factory. In the late 1940s, tortilla chips were first mass-produced in LA. And in 1994, Carranza received the Golden Tortilla Award for her contribution to the Mexican food industry. Let's ask our team members, how do you enjoy tortilla chips, this famous, small, crunchy appetizer? Let's start with Mayanne. Mayanne, how do you enjoy this, your tortilla chips?
Oh man, Ace, you chose the wrong person to start this roundtable, because I honestly don't have any use for my tortilla chip aside from nachos. That's basically how I enjoy my tortilla chip. I like to load it with a lot of beef and beans and cheese and tomatoes. Ace? Or how about we ask Myla?
I'm over here. So Mayanne, on this side. So whatever you said, Mayanne, is actually close to what I enjoy tortilla chip with. It's a 7-layer dip. Who knows 7-layer dip? Who have tasted 7-layer dip? Okay, so 7-layer dip consists of, first layer is refried beans. And second is I usually put ground beef. I cooked it on some taco seasoning. And then the third one is my favorite, guacamole. I love guacamole. I love avocado. And then where are we now? Fourth, right? The fourth are vegetables. We'll start with vegetables, shredded lettuce. And then on top of that, you'll put either salsa or just diced tomatoes. And then we're in the fifth, right? I have a cheat sheet here. And then the next would be sour cream. And on top of the sour cream, the 7th layer would be the shredded cheddar. So yes, that's my favorite dip for dipping with tortilla chip. How about you, Rennie? I know you love to cook, Rennie. So what's your favorite when it comes to chips?
My wife introduced me to this dip. It's Hormel chili with cheese and cream cheese. So we bake that, and then once it comes hot out of the oven, you take that tortilla chip and just dip it in. But I enjoy it hot. So any habaneros or any of our chili peppers that we use, I will put it in there. I enjoy it hot. How about you, Thomas? Do you enjoy it hot?
You got it right. You can't have a mild sauce with them. I like some hot salsa, or if I can get it, and you'd love this stuff, if you're ever in Arizona, it's Goldwater's Sedona Red Hot, or their Rio Verde Tomatillo, which is a green sauce. This stuff is so hot, you actually need a fire permit before you can serve it. It's made with habanero peppers, but I just like to keep it simple and dip the chips in a bowl of that.
So do you eat it by itself, the peppers, Thomas?
No, they're made into a sauce.
Okay. Have you ever eaten?
I just buy a jar.
Have you ever eaten one? Oh, okay.
I do. I enjoy it.
Are you really?
Oh yeah, habanero, or even the what's the hottest one? I forgot.
The green sauce, they call it here.
The green sauce I love that. If they have the little bottles of hot sauce, I basically empty. I could half empty it on my first sitting.
Can you beat that, Ace? I think Ace eats the smallest peppers, right?
I love jalapenos. I love banana peppers, but I enjoyed just listening to you guys describing how you enjoy your tortilla chips, all that dip, your 7-layer, your cheese, your chili. I love all of them, but the best, I think I would say the best compliment for my tortilla chip is a good movie, and my feet on the couch or whatever, on the massage chair, watching a good movie. That's the best for me. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your tortilla chip fantasies. Your tortilla chip. And as always, at the end of every broadcast, we do not forget to recognize the efforts of our healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers by giving them a round of applause. Thank you so much. You are our modern day heroes. That is today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ace Ramirez. We live in interesting times.